Today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, Jewelry Forever at jewelryforever.ca, and Beautified by Romina. Enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from Glenmore Record Studios in Toronto, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown, your Sunday morning talk show with interesting guests, live musical performances, and the most fun you can fit in your coffee cup. Hosted by Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown.
Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome to episode 233 of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. Before we start things off, we want to send a warm welcome to Darren from Black Creek Rave.
Check, is this on? They propagating lies and now we don't know what's the truth. Lining up at food banks but not at voting booths. Stealing the wealth and they hide it away. They still expect us to think we have a say. Brothers and my sisters, let me roll out. Brothers and my sisters, let me stand and pray. Every day you don't know that we cry out. You better listen every time we give 1 inch, they take another 100 miles. Oh, and every time they steal from us, shrug it off and simply smile. Now they're gonna learn today, reckoning is on its way. Now they're gonna know that they're not gonna take anymore. Take anymore. Take anymore. Yeah. I used to line their pockets, but they line it all the time. Make dirty deals, yeah, they're making it behind you. Wealth for the few, struggle before many. People cry out, they're scraping out their pennies. Is one love, let we shout out. Is one prayer that they stand and pray. Every day you don't know that we cry out. You better listen every time we give 1 inch, you take another 100 miles. Oh, and every time they steal from us, shrug it off and simply smile. Now they're gonna learn today of reckoning is on its way. Now they're gonna know that we're not gonna take anymore. Yeah, yeah. Oh. Ow.
And that was Darren of Black Creek Rain.
Yay! For the thousands in attendance and millions watching at home.
Exactly. Hello, everybody.
I didn't unmute his.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 233 of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. I am your host, the one, the only, Scott Dion Brown, and I'm joined by the greatest co-host in all the galaxy, the one, the only,
Regine Alaina. Happy long weekend.
Oh, yeah, it's a long weekend.
Happy Sunday.
I guess
Happy civic long weekend.
That's part of the reason why we're not live right now.
You didn't have to tell them that.
I mean, I think they would know. You're watching a YouTube premiere, or you're watching it after the fact. But hi, everybody. Yes, I am out of town right now.
I am in town right now.
You're in town. But how's your week going, Regine?
Week has been busy. This is I'm like, what week are we supposed to be at? No, it's been busy getting a lot of stuff ready, helping Elizabeth with the Canadian National Miss Pageant.
Oh, it's coming up.
A lot of coaching for that, actually. So
Cool.
the girls are keeping me busy. How about you, Scott?
Yeah, it's good. Oh, I saw the new Mission Impossible movie.
Oh, is there a new Mission Impossible movie?
Yeah, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, I think it was called. It's long, and it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's a good action movie, and it's part 1 of 2. It's 2 parts.
Oh.
So it's going to be 6 hours total, I think.
I can't.
Yeah. But But we are here with Darren of Black Creek Rain. We just heard him perform. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, you two.
Thank you for joining us. Oh, let's adjust.
Camera adjustment. There we go.
Thank you
That
for
looks better.
joining us. Earlier, when you were doing your sound check, I noticed you had a little creature on your guitar. Can you
do.
tell us about that?
So that is a gift that one of my mates got me. Instead of a regular traditional capo that most people have, just that like rectangular looking thing, I guess he saw it in Long and McQuaid, and he's like, you know what would be cool? That. And frankly, he was right.
Yeah.
So it's dope. It's always a conversation starter wherever you go, an open mic, a performance. People are like, what the hell, you have a shark on your guitar? And I'm like, yes, I do.
Do you like sharks?
Yeah, I dig them.
You're like,
Are they
yeah.
they're like top 5 for me, I'd say.
Top 5 of favorite animals?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Well, now I gotta know.
What are your top?
What's your top one favorite
My top
animal?
one is bears, for sure.
Oh, really?
What
Bears?
kind of bear?
Just bears in general.
Bears in general?
I don't. They're just. There was a story that the same friend told me about hunting permits and how the hunting permits are actually good for parks because they pay for a lot of the things that like upkeep and maintenance and all that.
Yeah.
And he was saying there was a bear shortage.
A bear shortage?
At one point in some park or the other. I can't remember the one. And then they imported a couple of bears, and then the bears just started to dominate everything. Just dominate the wildlife. Just and so they had to like start like, yeah, you can hunt here again because like it's too much now. We need
They can
some
like they can like significantly like impact the area they're in basically,
yeah.
and it doesn't even take very many bears to do it.
Because in nature specifically, there's so much bigger and faster and stronger than just about anything else.
Yeah.
Not only on 2 legs, but on 4 as well.
Yeah.
Right? So they can do both. Right? So if it's them versus a moose, the moose is a big animal too. But if the bear is hovering on 2 legs, good night moose.
Yeah.
Right? So
This is such a Canadian way to start the show. Moose and bears.
You know what? That's where we are. That's what we do.
oh my goodness.
That's what we do on the show.
I'm just like, hey, God. That's cool. No, I thought you'd be like a black bear.
Black bears are dope too.
'Cause,
Grizzly, the old-fashioned grizzly is good. I like the old-fashioned grizzly bear. Polar bears are, I think, becoming pretty endangered. So
They
I do like
Yeah,
that
are.
they're having a hard time.
They're so skinny.
It's so. Oh yeah, they are. That's right. Have you seen that video of that that footage? That really skinny polar
It's so
bear.
sad.
Yeah, that's real sad.
Yeah.
So sad. I would say my favorite bear would be like a koala bear.
Of course you would.
Or no, I love panda bears. I love panda bears.
Panda bears are very like
They're
like,
so floppy.
and they're so friendly. Like the trainer's just in there feeding them, and they're just like.
It's just, would you not want to be a panda bear? All you do is just chill, eat all day, no care in the world.
Yep, or you could be a grizzly bear and dominate your environment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like,
right?
pandas are just, they're so,
They're very
clumsy.
they're very chilled out. They're very
They are very
out
chilled out.
animals.
And there's nothing wrong with taking like a vacation as a
Yeah.
panda bear. But would
I
you
feel
wanna
like you'd
forever
be a
that?
panda bear. Not saying you're clumsy, but you kind of
No,
are.
Scott.
I am kind of clumsy, actually.
No, Scott, you've got to dominate your environment too. Come on.
But there would be but you know what? It's very tempting to be a panda.
I feel like you'd be a panda bear.
Let me down here, Scott. Let me down
I'm
here.
sorry.
They are like the way they roll around and they're just like. "Meh."
Just because you're so carefree, I'm not calling you lazy
Yeah.
or clumsy. You are clumsy and you're not lazy.
I'm kinda clumsy.
But just because like you're so like chill about everything.
In fact, well, speaking of clumsy, you know what we have? Today, so before we started this episode today, we shot a new video for one of our sponsors of the show, Jewelry Forever.
Right.
So we were over there at the jewelry store, like shooting footage that you
You'll
guys are
see
going to get to
soon.
see. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
been playing it during the breaks. But we were getting footage of like all the different jewelry. So he'd bring out like necklaces and he'd bring out like
And these ain't
watches and
cheap.
things.
These are
Yeah.
not cheap. They're high quality,
Yeah.
high end.
So I had this thing set up like it's slowly rotating, so we get some nice shots of like spinning jewelry.
Right.
And it was kind of balanced on basically Bristol board is what it was. But so we brought over like a nice watch, like
Foam board.
yeah. It was like a nice expensive watch. It was definitely an
It's like
expensive
at
watch.
least
Yeah.
$700 watch.
So I sit it on the thing, and I'm like watching it. Like I sat it down for like 5 seconds, and I'm
right.
rolling on it, and suddenly the thing just tumbles over and falls right off the counter, right onto the floor.
Jerry's face said it all.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, it's yours now. You broke it.
And I swore.
You break it, you
I
buy
swore,
it.
Regine.
Yeah.
I don't swear that much.
Scott did. I think
What?
I've known you more than 4 years, but
Yeah.
in the 4 years that we've done this show, I think I've heard you swear a handful of times.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. I just don't that much. But when I do, it's like that something. I was
Something bad has happened.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I was definitely
You
concerned.
were embarrassed.
Not just embarrassed, like scared that I just
Lost the advertiser.
or at the very
Like
least.
$1,000 watch.
Yeah, that's the part I was worried about. Yeah, just like it was not a. But luckily there was like a bag on the other side of the counter, so when it fell onto the bag first and then rolled.
okay,
So I was like, okay,
This
we're
is
fine.
why you clumsy.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, okay, so let's talk a little bit to our guest Darren. We're not here listening about your
Yeah.
mistakes today.
Let's.
How did you meet Scott? How did this come to play?
Oh yeah.
We were doing a gig over in Unionville, that Markham Richmond Hill area,
Yep.
and it was 2 acts per day, one person for 3 hours, another person for 3 hours. And Scott was doing the sound for me because I was starting things off. I was like 11 to 2 or 10 to 1 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so he was doing the sound, and so he set me up super quick, super good. I did my first set, and we started chatting. He's like, "Dude, you're super good. That was dope." Like I was like actually paying attention. And I'm like, "Thanks, Scott." No.
Yeah.
But after that, like in between breaks, we would chit chat and talk, and even during some of the longer breaks, we would just get to know each other a little bit. Kind of the music that he does. I wanted to know like the instruments he played, the styles of songs that he would do, kind of how long he's been in and around this area, and we just got to know each other. It was cool. It was a nice little evening, afternoon adventure, and we exchanged Instagrams afterwards. He's like, "Dude, you should be on my podcast." I'd be like, "I'd love to," and here we are.
And here we are.
Here we are. Where's the rest of your band? Or is it just you? Are you the...
I'm like
No.
the captain of the ship for Black Creek Rain.
Got Yeah.
And so
it.
for these sorts of things, I'm happy to do it, especially in this time where everybody, the summer, especially for Caribbean people, Caravana next week
oh,
is
yeah.
just a disaster. Like,
Wait, is Caravana a long weekend?
Yeah.
So this weekend that you're watching is Caravana.
yeah,
Oh, cool.
it's wild out
Yeah.
there. It's wild. Because like my drummer is in another band, so he's doing stuff for Caravana. My keyboardist is one of the better ones in Toronto, and he's flying out right now to the US to do some Caribbean gigs.
Cool.
Wow.
Lex, the other co-founder in the band, is in Ireland right now.
Wow.
It's everybody's all over for the summer, so I usually hold it down here and
Yeah.
get all of this stuff done.
You do
I
the
don't mind it.
promo.
Yeah, I do the promo, the admin stuff. I'm the engine that keeps the band going. We'll
The
say.
little engine that could.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about Black Creek Rain. What are you guys all about?
So Black Creek Rain is a reggae rock
Love that.
pop type of experience, I'm going to call it, because we don't just. It's not just a bunch of guys jumping around prancing on stage. We're trying to do something here.
Got
We've
it.
got a story and we want to tell it, right?
Yeah.
And reggae music and soca music in particular can get a really bad rap of we're here to drink, we're here to party. All right, we're done. It's like,
Yeah.
hold on. Wait,
We're
right?
more than that.
Right? No, and even reggae music specifically, when Bob Marley used to do it back in the 70s, there was a lot of political,
Yep.
social
Yeah.
issues he was talking about. And we want to carry on raising some of these issues in a way, in a medium that we feel most comfortable through reggae music, right?
That's
So even the
awesome.
song I started off with, it's called Wall Street, and it's more or less about the discrepancy between the rich and the poor, right? That's a super important issue, especially with inflation, with the
Yeah.
economy being a disaster, young people like myself literally never being able to afford a house.
I literally was just talking to Jerry about that at Jewelry Forever. Sorry, continue.
Right.
Yeah.
It's and these are the things that young people are really angry about. That young people are really upset about that sort of thing because a lot of it's not even our fault.
No.
Right. We got thrust
Yeah.
into this environment,
Yeah.
and older people are like, deal with this.
Bye.
And people are mad about it.
Yeah.
People are angry about it, and we want to channel that message and channel those emotions through music, and that's really what Black Creek Rain has taken on the identity of today.
I love that.
Sweet.
So, Black Creek Rain. Why the name?
Funny story about that now. So we were initially Heaven's Muse, so a whole different band with a whole different people, and that
Oh.
didn't quite work out the way it was supposed to. We debuted at North by Northeast 2016. That was our very first gig, and yeah, that's one way to start, right?
Yeah.
My bass player got us that gig, and he's like, "Guys, so I got our first gig." I'm like, "Great, awesome. What are we doing?" He's like, "North by Northeast," and I'm like, "Well, guess we better start practicing, mate."
Yeah.
And that didn't quite work out or go the way that we thought it would, and so we ended up sticking around with some of the members and we were Black Creek Drive for like a week and a half.
Black
Okay.
Creek. Isn't that a road?
It is a road. It's a road very near
Black
where
Creek
I live.
Road.
That's where
Yeah.
I got the inspiration from. But in Japan, there's a band named Black Creek Drive. And I didn't know that until a week after. And I'm like, oh, and they had a Facebook page and everything established. And I don't know how I guess I didn't see it when I was first suggesting the names. And then so we had to get rid of everything. And I'm like, oh, God, I like Black Creek. I like that. It tells people where we're from, that we're local, we're from Toronto.
We're from the Black
Yeah.
yeah.
But what about that last word? Right, and so we bounced around words, this, that, the next, and somebody I used to know suggested rain as the last word, and this is Black Creek Rain. I'm like, that's dope. I like how that kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is everybody thinks it's RAIN. Black Creek Rain, because they think I'm doing some sort of wordplay with water, this creek and this rain and this and this, which is far more clever than people give me credit for. Frankly, I'm like, guys, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
right?
you could just be like, that was intentional. It's kind of like a double meaning,
I'm playing 4D chess, guys. Where are you at, even?
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to just like spell the name, and people think I'm doing this ridiculous thing. So I keep at shows, anytime I tell people that like give us a follow on Instagram, I'm always like spelling out the REIGN.
Yeah.
And so because I did that even during the show a few times, and like you get a couple of weird looks and some of the weird looks are, I thought it was RAIN, and some people are like, why are you spelling it? Because
That's
people
why.
think it's the first one, right?
That's tricky. That is tricky about the English language, if you think about it. There's so many words that are spelt differently, meant differently, but pronounced the same.
It's wild linguistics.
Yeah. It's a cool name, though.
It
It's a cool name.
We stuck with it for a while. I've always actually been strangely like in the middle about it, in the sense that it's not a name like Guns N' Roses where you're like, that's a damn good band name. We're like, this is a fine name. And we had always considered changing it, but then we just never thought of anything that we liked.
I have the exact same story with my band's
You
name.
do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. So when you saw me perform, I was playing it. That's the Scott Dion Brown band. That's its own thing. But the band that I played with, I'm still,
Regularly.
since high school, right? That band, we called ourselves Symphony of Nine. And there's no good story behind it.
And every
It's
time,
just
the first time I've ever met him, I was like, and I introduced you your band, I was like, why is it called, is there 9 of you?
Yeah,
Like,
everybody always asks that, and the answer is
there's only
no.
4 of you.
and it's like, and it's the same thing. We were both in high school. We were like, it's fine. Yeah, we'll find a better one later. And we just
never did.
We just never did. So it's funny to hear you say that.
It's band names are hard to come up with.
Yeah.
Real damn hard, right?
My cousin and I had like a little girl group when we were younger. We were called Double Trouble.
I mean, that's a good name.
Was there only 2 of you in the band?
Yeah.
Okay. At least that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Admittedly, for Symphony of Nine, it's not an unreal expectation that's
I
like,
know.
there's 9 people. But Maroon 5 is doing the same thing now, and there's 7 guys in Maroon 5 now, right? It started with 5, and now Adam Levine's like, hey, I got 2 other guys, and now
We're sticking to it.
it's a thing, right?
I mean, at least they started with
It ain't
5.
Maroon
That's true. They
7
did.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the comments on like their Instagram or Facebook, anytime they post a new band photo with 7 of them, it's like, oh, it's Maroon 7 again.
It's like, oh my God. Did you see, speaking of, you just reminded me because I watched Maroon 5 at Molson Amp. Molson Amp is now Budweiser's stage. Did you notice that Budweiser has removed the Bud in all of their promos? Like their logo just be like blank Weiser.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. I
I
haven't
don't
seen
know. It's a mystery. People in the comments let us know.
that. So the Budweiser logo, the Bud is just gone, and it just says Weiser.
People are saying it's like, because we're better with our buds, and I'm like, that's stupid. But I think that's what it is.
Oh man, yeah, and the Jays have to say that now. Anytime the Jays hit a home run, instead whoever was their sponsor beforehand, I guess decided not to renew it. And now every time the Jays hit a home run on the damn broadcast, they have to say, "And that's what buds are for," or "That's what buds can do,"
really?
or something.
Maybe
It's
that's
the
why.
worst of
See,
all time.
look, it's gone.
Oh, you're right.
It's just
Blank
wiser.
Oh, I see. So they're doing something. It's some marketing thing.
That's whack. That's weird.
I mean, it worked.
I mean,
Because I'm like, why is it wiser?
I mean, yeah, we're talking about
That's true.
it.
We're talking about it, so it must have worked in some capacity.
Yeah, I haven't seen any. There must be an ad playing somewhere that kind of explains what it is, and I just haven't seen it yet. So we'll see. Maybe it'll pop up on YouTube or something,
TikTok.
or TikTok, wherever.
Sorry, I just remembered because you said Maroon 5, and I watched Maroon 5 at Molson Amp, and I just triggered a memory.
If we're on the topic of Maroon 5, and we can really talk about anything.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love
Let's talk about
Adam
Maroon
Levine.
5
Let's
for
do it.
I have a love-hate relationship with Adam Levine.
Oh.
Because he's Chorus Flowers in 1997, 1998 was the band he was in before Maroon 5, right?
Oh, you're really going deep
he was
into it.
Girl, this is my thing. This is my thing.
Let's talk. Let's talk about it.
And they were like fine. They were good. If you explore and you listen, it's Kara. Kara's Flowers, and the songs like they're fine songs. They're like Beatlesy-esque. They're very structured, very sensible.
Okay.
And the difference between like 1997, 1998, and then 2002 songs about Jane is like night and day. Because those songs are frankly the best they've ever done. That's ask any musician. That's usually one of their like top like 20 albums like ever. Songs About Jane is a spectacular album. Funk, rock, blues, the whole 9 yards. This is when James Valentine was really starting to feel on the guitar. And I'm like, great, this is a new band that sounds exactly the way that I want to.
Yeah.
And then the next album came out and it was like less so. And I was like, all right, maybe they're just trying something new. And then the third album came out and even less that. Now it's just full on pop. And now he's just writing pop songs.
But he's just so nice to look at.
That's almost the problem.
That
He
is
realized I'm damn good looking, and he's obviously still very, very talented.
Yeah.
But now he's just like, how can I make as much money as I possibly can?
Yeah, in fact, I'm not familiar really with Maroon 5's really at all, except for their hits, their singles.
Right.
And so I really
They're
only
good live.
Yeah, I've never
Of
seen them
course
live.
they're good live. They're all spectacular
They're
elite
so
musicians.
good.
But they all just kind of phone it in and it's like, well, we're doing pop now. Instead of that bluesy, funky, super cool. Because really and truly, if you were to ask, even some of the other guys that you play with, ask them like what their favorite Maroon 5 album is, unanimously it's going to be Songs About Jane.
Interesting.
Maybe this clip will get to Adam Levine, and if it does, hi, hello.
If it does, Adam, we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Hello, hi.
I think of Maroon 5, all I think of is this love has taken
Big track. Yeah, and that's from
song.
Songs About Jane.
Oh, okay.
So that's exactly it.
Okay, good.
Right? So
But I guess there's, because that's pretty poppy sounding to me, but I guess there's a lot more on
there's
the
a lot
album.
more like
It changes, yeah.
Like they even use like diminished chords and stuff like that in there. They're like really exercising their musicianship on that album.
I see. You know what?
It's
You know what?
great.
It's kind of like Nickelback in a way, because Nickelback. I mean, I don't know how you feel about Nickelback, but Nickelback is like their singles. If you just listen to their singles, you think they're kind of like, except maybe their earlier singles, but all the singles they put out is kind of like this very basic sort of pop song type, you know. And then when you actually listen to their albums, they actually like rock really hard. And I didn't realize Nickelback was really good until I saw them live. They played at Yonge and Dundas Square one time.
Very, very good.
It was
And
like,
the crazy part is,
no.
this weekend, the long weekend, they're at Boots and Hearts. They're at a country music
really?
festival.
Wow.
Yeah.
they
Would you have pictured Nickelback at a country concert or a country festival?
Actually, I
No, I
wouldn't.
wouldn't.
Country is getting a little more rock anyways, and I suppose that's a discussion for another time. But
We could
That's
talk.
true.
I'm
That's
a
true.
country listener. We
yeah,
could,
you
we
like,
could talk about
I
it.
like country too.
This guy we went to Rocket Horse together.
That's right. It was pretty good.
I like country music.
Yeah, I don't dislike country. In fact, I mean, honestly, there's very little music where I'm like, I don't like that. It's usually
hear
more
you.
like, it's very, I have to be like in the mood for certain, right? You know what
yeah.
I
I
mean?
agree.
So,
Do you prefer music today or the music like 10, 20 years ago?
Ooh, that's a complicated question because
Would-
everything has been good in some way or the other.
Yeah.
There's good songs now. There's good songs 20 years ago. Is there like a different standard of good now? Who
Yeah.
knows, right? Like
Yeah.
how do you necessarily answer that?
yeah, that's
What
exactly.
does your Spotify look like? Is how you answer that.
Mine's all over the place. I've got Bob Marley live in 1977 right now. I've got Damien Rice, which was 2002. I might have Black Creek Rain up there, but that's a different story.
Nice plug-in. Nice plug-in. No, mine is a lot of country, early 2000s hip-hop, R&B, anything acoustic.
But like country, or like Keith Urban, Brad Paisley rock country.
A little bit of all of that.
I see a little bit of.
I've seen Brad Paisley live. I would see him again. I would love to see Keith Urban live.
He's such a good guitar player.
He is.
Brad Paisley is just.
He is.
But a lot of those country guys are wicked guitarists.
Well,
Yeah.
The thing is, one thing I really like about country is that it's one of the last music genres that still requires you to actually be able to sing and play live.
You
that's
need the
a very
twang.
good point.
And so, you know, I mean, it used to be even, I mean, it's been decreasingly going down all the time. But I don't know, let's say, 10, 20 years ago. And then anything earlier than that, right? The good part of an artist was them on stage.
Yeah.
But that's very much become kind of the secondary thing today. And now with like so many people getting famous on TikTok and TikTok almost driving
TikTok
the charts,
music, yeah.
you've got people who genuinely like can't actually sing, but they've got, you know, however many millions of followers. They hire a producer, the producer makes them sound good, and now they're famous and they're touring, but they're not actually any good at all.
Oh, it's the
You
worst,
know
isn't
who
it?
is amazing? And I've said this because I just watched him. Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, but he's the furthest thing
He
from a
is-
TikTok guy. He like cut
Yeah.
a street on
Oh.
the teeth, like
Yeah.
doing
He is
gigs
amazing.
and all that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's but he's kind of like
I would watch him.
I don't want
live
to say
again.
I guess old school, but he's just a genuine like I play guitar,
is
I
a
go on
musician.
stage.
He's a
Through and
singer-songwriter,
through.
like through and through. Like that's what he does.
Have
That's
you
what
watched
he's been
his
doing.
documentary?
I watched him live, girl.
Me too. Me too. I was just at his concert in June, but have you watched his doc?
I watched one of them. I think the one after Divide I watched, but I know that there's been a couple.
There's one on Disney. I watched that one recently. I'm like, wow, I'm impressed with like how he writes his music, what inspires his music. It's
Yeah, he's
He's a
good.
good- he's a
the
good-
real deal.
yeah.
I like him. And I like that he went into that lawsuit. We talked about it before. He went into that lawsuit and won.
but this isn't even his first one that he won.
That's good. He's standing up for the songwriters.
Yeah, which like good because that whole lawsuit was outrageous.
So
Yeah,
stupid.
it was really dumb.
Outrageous.
And honestly, in fact, I don't know if you agree with this, but like, because this was kind of a follow up to that one when was it Robin Thicke
Yep.
who got sued? I didn't agree with that one either.
No, I didn't either. I feel like Marvin Gaye's estate, like whoever's controlling it, needs to be fired. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's you got to stop. Man.
Stop trying to like milk every
'cause
dollar that you can.
Because when you look at the two songs, I don't even know how you could say like what they share a groove, like what, because there's bongo drums in both, like they move kind of similar, but they're totally different. I think they completely got it wrong. I don't know how that got through.
I agree. There are some lawsuits I actually think deserved a little bit more merit. There was that one with Dua Lipa for levitating, and I actually thought that the people who were suing her had a case there. I actually did, and because I usually try to understand. And every songwriter, you know, you take an idea here, you take an idea there.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to create a brand new melody. It's
Yeah.
just not mathematically going to happen. It's not possible anymore.
Yep.
But there are instances where it's just too damn similar to something that's come before. And I actually thought that they had, because it's Article Sound System, I think, is the one that was suing Dua Lipa. And if you were to listen to that song versus Levitating, the chorus is identical, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what about Miley Cyrus's Flowers and Bruno Mars?
I just
Do you think she talked to Bruno and was just like, "Hey, can I borrow?"
Is that a rumor?
No, I'm
Or-
curious because
it definitely sounds like a
it's
response to that song, doesn't it?
Exactly, like the words are very similar. She's literally being like, "Well, I could buy myself flowers," and he's like, "I would." What was it?
So maybe it is. Maybe it's
I
like
want to buy you flowers.
Yeah.
The chord progressions are different,
It's-
though.
yes,
the
but-
lyrical response. Maybe she did talk to him, and because a lot of people get like no credit, but these conversations
Yeah.
really happen, right?
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
probably called him up and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna do a response to your song. You cool with it? Yeah, girl, I'm cool." The end.
Yeah, because
How do
his
we know
music
that,
was
right?
played again.
Yeah.
You're right. So like,
Yeah, that
like-
makes sense.
So
Well,
Curious.
for me, my when the lawsuit has merit, in my opinion, it's that if I can take a guitar or whatever instrument, and if I can play the same chord, if I can play the chord progression, and then I start singing it, and the melody of the lyrics on the same chord progression is the same song. If that is the same, and even then, I don't even necessarily like, oh, this person needs to like, you know, I think when that happens, I don't think it's unreasonable for the two artists to go, okay, well, we're going to have to split the revenue for this one or something.
Right.
Right. That's how I think it should be done. But like, that should be, it's very, very easy to like tell with that, right? You could just pick up the guitar and start playing it. And if you're singing one, people don't know if you're singing one or the other. That's why there was,
that's what I was like, what?
yeah, that's why I was thinking like, which one? Was it Stay With Me and Won't Back Down?
Right.
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 Because if you play the guitar and hum it, right? I don't know which song I'm singing.
Right. It could literally
That's
could be
so
either.
true.
Yes.
It literally could be either.
So that's for me. That's the test.
Yeah.
Because if you've done that, you know, and the chord progression is the same as well, okay. But
Interesting.
the Robin Thicke thing is like there's nothing there.
No.
And
No, I agree with that.
yeah, and I don't know if did he not fight it? Is that why? Did he
He did
just
fight it.
settle? Oh, he did, and he lost.
I actually can't remember how that one ended. Did he lose?
To all those watching, let us know.
I
in the
didn't
chat.
think. I just know that he. I think he. Now I'm not sure. I thought he lost though, but I think maybe he settled. Maybe he just settled
Maybe-
and gave
maybe
the
he
medal.
did
Sometimes
money.
it's easier to just settle.
Maybe.
But like, because what had to happen is what Ed Sheeran did. Like, I don't know if you saw the video over it, or
He like demonstrated. In
he literally brought his guitar and he was like, these are all the songs that you guys would be like basically throwing out if you had to, if this was the rule for copyright infringement or whatever. Like, because there's like, especially in pop, there's like 5 chord progressions.
Right, like ever.
Yeah. So he did it. He went in, but that's what I think they must have settled. And because of that, we didn't have the person going, no, this makes no sense. Because then it's even worse when you think like the Beatles and like, say, all the bands from the 60s, right? Your standard bands was what? 2 guitars, bass, drums, right? And like every song is going to sound like that because it's like they didn't even have a distortion then. So it was just that sound, right? So if you're going to if you're going to say that this guy's copied me because they're using my same instrumentation or the same beat that I used, it's really stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well,
how did we get there?
I like it.
This is why we just talk whatever.
We
I
just
told
talk.
you.
That
There's
is
no.
true.
There's,
You did say that
warned
beforehand.
you.
Anything's going to happen, and boy, here we are.
Here we are. How do we get here? You guys mentioned the guitar. You both played the guitar. How did you get into it?
I actually started on the piano.
Oh.
Like late 90s, because I'm that old, good lord. Late 90s, my folks sent me to piano lessons.
Same.
And they're like, look, you're going to love this. And I'm like, but I want to play the drums like any 7-year-old kid would. Both my parents, already sleep deprived as I was from dealing with me as a child, are like, how about no? We're going to do the piano. And so I didn't really like it at first. My teacher was certainly nice enough, but like, you're a kid, like you want to run around and like throw things at people and whatever.
Okay, maybe not me, but yeah.
But like I was able to grasp it really easily, and like I would practice now and then. But it wasn't until I was like 14 years old that my parents switched teachers for me after like 5-6 years of being with the same teacher, that I really got to love the music.
Oh, wow.
Like I was just entering high school. They put me with one of the best teachers in the academy, and he took it was Christmas, and I'll never forget this because he took a Christmas carol, one of those dopey Christmas carols from the book, like Santa's coming, presents, happy, joy, that, right? One of those dopey ones that like the publisher just kind of wrote like at the 11th hour, and he took that and he made it sound like it was a symphony.
Wow.
Like a sonata, like he made it just, like he leapt off the page and he was improvising and he was taking those same chords and putting it in a way I had never heard. And I'm like, I'm going to stop you right there because what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And he's like, you want to learn? Here we go. And I came to every class. I practiced. I this, I that. It invigorated, I guess, what was laying dormant.
This is piano still.
This is piano still.
Okay.
Right? And I took all of that piano, and the guitar part is funny, and it comes in now because as I was really beginning to love the music, you can't lug a piano around the campfire. As I learned so heartbreakingly when I was in high school. And so during the same time that I was really starting to love music, all of the guys and girls in my school were also starting to learn music, but everybody was just playing the guitar. And they were playing a very poorly done version of Wonderwall or Time of Your Life around the campfire.
That's so high school.
And all of the girls are like, and I'm there doing like Beethoven's like Fifth or whatever, and nobody gives a damn. Like nobody cares. And I'm just like,
yep.
Not Wonderwall.
And I'm like, you know what? All right, something's got to change. And so I picked up the guitar, and as I picked up the guitar, I realized, holy crap, this is way easier now that I've learned the piano.
Oh.
And it wasn't. So the next year, when everybody was still poorly playing Wonderwall, I'm like, now watch this. And I'm just wailing on it. And that's real. But besides the wanting attention from the girls, that was cool and all, but it was also like, okay, shut up for a minute. Like, I really like this. Cool. Yeah, I'll see you later. But like, this is.
Let me finish.
This is because at first you really do that, especially as a teenager. You do that for like just carve your own identity, and you love the music, but the attention from the girls is cool. But very, very quickly you realize, man, forget that. Like, I really do love this.
Yeah.
And so I wrote out guitar all the way throughout high school. Then I decided I wanted to do music in university. So I got into York for a performance degree. I auditioned with piano, and then I got my very first day. They're like, so you're going to be doing piano, you're going to be doing guitar, and you're going to be doing singing. And I'm like, no, stop, hold on. I'm 19 years old, and you see all these fruity, dopey singers on YouTube at the time wailing at the top of their lungs, and I'm like, I'm a guy, I'm too cool for
But I
that.
do like those dopey YouTube
Right.
singers. I love them.
So you
No,
had never.
no, we don't.
So you
That's
hadn't
true.
started singing at all.
No.
Wow.
I was like 19.
Wait, who are your dopey YouTube singers? I just want to see for.
Oh no, I meant like
I'm like, hang on.
like just any
like-
video.
Yeah,
of,
just
like,
random people.
of like
yeah.
American Idol auditions of people just singing at the top of their lungs, and I'm just
It
like,
ain't no
stop.
shebang.
Just didn't appeal.
Yeah,
to you.
it's because like for me that was just so not show offy per se, but it's like you're missing the point. Like those singers, especially gospel and jazz singers, that
Yep.
there's no such thing as a melody anymore. It's all riffs and runs.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's what specifically what I'm talking about. I'm like, this is so dumb. This is so silly. I don't even hear the melody anymore.
Yep.
Right? So, cause yeah, like you'll know exactly what I mean. And I'm just like, no. And so I thought that singing, because I had really only ever been exposed to like that sort of thing. And I'm like, man, I don't want to do that. That's so stupid. And then my parents are like, you're going to sing now, deal with it. Because they wanted me to start singing ages ago because they wanted to do the music thing. And they're like, dude, as a singer, it's much easier out there than as a non-singer. And I'm like, I'm 14. I know everything. Stop.
I totally hit puberty already.
right?
I got
I get it.
this.
But how did they know that you could
you sing?
How did you know you could sing? How did they
I
know you
didn't know
could
that I
sing?
could sing. But they said, look, especially if now that you're in university and you're going to be tested on your singing, you have to learn how to sing now. I'm like,
Oh.
that's a reasonable point.
But-
I could
but like-
avoid this 5 years ago, but I can't avoid this now.
But does somebody like is there like singing running in your family at all?
No,
Like, were there-
not at all.
Oh. So
My,
they just,
my parents are both, God bless you, mom and dad, but like you're musically inept, right?
Wow.
And so this was the thing that they signed me up for a vocal teacher. And my vocal teacher's like, you're a natural. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
I honestly didn't know. I had never even tried to sing before that.
Amazing. That's amazing.
And here we are on the sit down.
Here we
And here we are, see?
Exactly.
And
It
now-
all culminated to this.
It all came to
Exactly.
here. Exactly. Amazing.
All because your parents put you in piano when you were 7 years old.
Oh, 1998. You're so crazy.
Thank you, Mom and Dad. Oh, we're the same age.
That's amazing. It's funny what you just said, or just hearing you talk about how when you play piano, like Beethoven's whatever, and nobody cares. It's funny because that
You
rings.
play Wonderwall. It's a whole
no,
other thing.
but-
Oh, my God.
It just rings so. I still remember because my parents put me in piano lessons too.
It happens to all of
And,
us.
and in elementary school, right? They had like the talent show, so all the kids could sit in the gym,
no, what did you
right?
do?
Well, like I still very clearly remember it. I went up and like I had learned my little piece. I didn't remember what it was.
Twinkle.
Thing is, it wasn't Twinkle Twinkle. I probably would have liked it more if it was Twinkle Twinkle because that's a
Right.
song that I know. It was just whatever piece, whatever sonata or
Whatever's
whatever's
in the
in the book,
book, yeah.
right? And I just remember I went up on stage and I like, dun, 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 right up on stage, all the kids sitting quiet, right?
Like,
Dun, 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 dun. They didn't. Here's the thing: they didn't boo. But
Okay,
but it's almost like a what do they call it? A
silent
core. It's a core memory for me.
Yeah.
Because I still remember playing this piece, and it ends, and I in my head I knew the kids don't care at all.
Right.
And I remember I finished the performance, and one of the teachers was like, "Oh, Scott, that was really good." And I'm like, and truth is, it was good. Like it was a complex whatever. I wasn't a great piano player, but I knew the piece. It was better than what most of the other kids were doing. But I realized it was like one of those things where I'm like, no, like you have to give them a show.
Yep.
It was like I feel like it kind of taught me something about like there's more to performing than just going on stage and doing something that's complicated. It
Yep.
needs to like, yeah, and yeah, I hated piano. It's funny here you're talking about how like you started to really love it. I'm like,
maybe you needed his teacher.
no, that's also
Maybe you
true.
needed my teacher for real.
Yes,
I think you
'cause,
needed that
like
inspiration.
the story you told me about how your teacher like kind of inspired you, right, and showed you all the things that a piano that never happened.
My piano teacher didn't do that either.
Really? You
Yeah.
just missed out.
Well,
then,
keep in
man.
mind, I was 4.
Oh, that's
Was I 4?
different.
I was like maybe 5, 6 years old, and my parents put me in the conservatory to play, but there was a whole bunch of us.
That's silly. Because I had to teach piano for the city of Toronto, and the first thing that parents will say on orientation day is, I want my 6-year-old to... No, you don't. You're going to come back when they're 8, and they've got the finger span and strength to do this. And they all get upset, and then they do it, and they're like, oh, this made sense. And some people will try to get their kids to learn singing when they're 6, but they can't read. So they're bringing these sheets with lyrics on them, and they can't read them. And I'm like, do you see what the problem is here? Right?
Yep, that's you're gonna run into some issues there.
Right? Like I'm like, look here, Patel Singh. I understand. Like you and your neighborhood friends all want to sing. I get that. Not yet.
Just
You're
like,
gonna have
let
to
it
wait.
go. Or they'll
right?
say, like,
Yeah.
let it go.
Let it go.
Oh yeah, or just like by strictly memorization. So I'm like,
Memorization,
guys,
yeah.
you're not bringing them to learn, obviously, because this is
They're
just
just
the memory
singing.
games now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's boy, City of Toronto, what a time.
Lovely.
I was also a terrible piano student though, because the problem is because I started.
never practiced.
Yeah, so that's the thing. My lessons. So like it starts in group lessons, then you move to private lessons, and like
I didn't even make it to private level.
well okay I did a little better than that.
I was a private. I mean, group only.
Right out of the gate, it's like, nope, this isn't happening.
It was like you're gonna do. I think I did for like 2 years, or
Well,
maybe 3.
My private lesson was literally, it was just my practice time. It was like I show up for the class,
Right, and that's when you would
and
practice.
I was like, oh, okay, here's my first time looking at this music since last week. Okay, and the teacher would be like, Scott, did you look at this? And I'd be like, oh yeah, a little bit, right? And then I remember I used to like, there was the class before mine. Sometimes, my teacher would teach like this children's class where like all they're playing is like those like what are those things? Are like little ducks.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
The little,
No.
like it's like an auxiliary percussion instrument, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. There was a name for them, but like
chaka, no,
yeah.
it's not chaka chaka, but
It's like, but they
That's the
sound like
noise
that's
it
like, they had a name, but I remember it's like for teaching kids melody, you'd be like click, click, right? It was like that. So she's basically
Just like
playing.
that.
Yeah. So she basically just come out of like playing with like little kids for an
Then you
hour.
come in.
So she'd come in and she's in such a good mood. Like I'd see the end of her class and she'd be like, "Okay, bye, kids. All right, Scott. Hi, how are you?" And I'd be like, "Diddle," and she'd be like, "Oh, that's okay, right?" So I'm like, "That's good." But then there'd be other times where like she comes out, maybe she wasn't teaching that class, so she's kind of in a bad mood, and then she'd be so mean to me because she'd see like she's like,
didn't
"Oh,
practice."
I gotta sit here watching this kid stumble through. Anyway, so I was not inspired
I
by my
wasn't.
teachers, but I also think I was like the least inspiring student.
I think for me, the reason why I did piano lessons is because there was a Woody Woodchucks like behind it, so I got to go.
So you got to go there
afterwards.
afterwards.
Yeah.
that's fair.
Fair enough.
Inspiration is the only thing that's going to make kids stay in whatever they're doing,
Yep.
sports, music, whatever.
Yeah.
Even my bass player, he was very similar to you. He was a spectacular jazz trumpet player in high school. Didn't practice, didn't care. And you know who you are, Alexander. You know damn well who you are, right? And so he was always trumpet one in any of these productions or
Hello.
concerts or anything like that, right? And he would get solos, not practice them, and sometimes screw them up, and also not care. And the teacher would just be like, and so he gave guitar, trumpet, piano, everything a rest for years until he met me. And then we were in the same acting class 10 years ago. It was like an acting for non-majors class. I just did it because like I thought acting was cool and the girls were super hot, and I'm like, why not?
Why not?
Yep.
But and like I'm sure there's like Bollywood genes in here somewhere. They just-
Yes. I mean, you got the singing down somehow. Yeah.
Right, like it'll activate somehow, right? Like that's
Exactly.
maybe screwing a few light bulbs and you know.
Did it work?
No,
Oh.
unfortunately. No, it did not. And so the first thing that Heaven's Muse ever did came out like 10 years ago, and so I wanted to show everybody, obviously, right? So I showed it to him, and you know when you're showing your friends your music, your friends are never expecting anything spectacular. They're expecting, oh yeah, great.
Sorry, Scott. I'm like,
No, yeah.
Like, it's the honest truth. Like none of your friends actually, unless they've really seen you live, like
Yeah.
play, none of your friends for the first time are ever going to think what you're showing them is anything spectacular. They're going to be, oh, that's so cool that you're doing that, man.
It's like, good job.
But I showed it to like the people in my class, and him specifically was like, yo, damn, this is like legit.
Yeah.
This is like actually good. And I'm
This
like,
is
dude,
legit.
I need more players in my band. Do you want to play with me? He's like, yes, I want to play with you. And that was it. It inspired him to pick up the instrument again.
Yeah.
And he's been in the
Awesome.
band ever since. That's
wow.
all it
That
takes.
makes sense.
Inspiration.
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
the driving force behind all of this stuff. When people lose inspiration or passion, they take how many years off until the next album
was
comes
me.
out? Right?
Yep.
All
that's
the time.
true. Because that's right. Because I was like so done with piano, and I eventually stopped. And I would never practice, no matter how hard. Like
Yeah.
I would basically like my entire thing was like my teacher by the end would like choose the easiest song she could find in the book, just so that I could learn them well enough to pass the exam.
Right.
So like I could have, if I loved the music, I could learn the whole book and then pick my best
And
pieces.
now
No.
you are.
I just learned, but then come along high school. Me and my friends want to start a band. We're all into Oasis and we're all into all these, and it's like I went out, got myself a guitar, and like taught myself. You know what I mean? And like learned because why? Because I was,
You were
I wanna-
inspired. You wanted to do it.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
the amount of kids that have come through, or even adults, because when I even would teach adults, I have no problems doing that at all. I like it when 30, 40, 45-year-olds come and like they want to like pick this up and try, because
Yeah.
those are the people who they've lived their life and
Yeah.
this is something they're choosing to do. They want to be here.
Yeah.
Right? They're fired up. They want to at least keep
They're not
singing
forced
and try.
to be there.
No, they're
Yeah.
not forced to be there.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be no fun to teach a kid who's like genuinely
Dragged.
doesn't
Just
want to be
there
there.
to be
Yeah.
there.
Exactly. And I'll tell people when I used to teach, I would tell people that all the time. There's no point in bringing X, Y, and Z here. They don't care. And either you're going to inspire them, I'm going to inspire them, or we're wasting our time.
Yep.
That's it.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. And you have to be real about that. I know everybody wants to send their kids to piano lessons,
Yep.
but everybody also has to face facts that it's not for everybody.
Yep.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
You know who else is inspiring? Because I just looked at the time.
Oh, our advertisers.
Yeah, they're very inspiring.
Well, yeah, so let's do this. We'll do our ad read, and you can make your way over to the performance area.
Okay.
So that
We
we're
can
gonna
see what
we're gonna
your,
hear we're gonna hear another song for you.
Yes,
Maybe
all right.
maybe it'll
Inspire us.
inspire a few people.
Let's hear it. Here we go.
All right,
No
yeah.
pressure.
So head on over there, and your mics are still on, so don't like make any noise. But we are going to read some ads.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this glorious episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by some very important people, right, Regine?
Yes, many.
They are, of course, our advertisers. They make this show possible.
Sorry. I just love that you told him your mics are on. So
Oh, don't make any noise. And he was very,
he's
very
like,
careful. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? I like it. He followed.
sorry.
He followed the instructions. He
sorry.
did it. He did it. He was much more careful than
Than you?
usual. No, than even like.
Sorry.
No, because we remember sometimes like we'll send them over there,
And
and then
you-
they'll start like talking to each other, and I'm like, guys, we're you're right there.
Anyway, sorry.
we appreciate it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
everybody, here are our advertisers. The Toronto real estate market is growing and changing every day. In these challenging times, you need someone in your corner. Jeanette McKenzie, realtor at Forest Hill Signature, is committed to looking out for you. She'll go the extra mile to ensure you have all the information you need to make a decision you can feel confident about. Purchasing a home is one of the biggest financial investments you'll make in life. Don't leave it to chance. Call Jeanette McKenzie at Forest Hill Signature. She's my realtor. That's right. The place I'm living in right now. She helped me find it. She's my realtor, and she could be yours. Call today at 416-523-0408 or email at jmckenziehomes@gmail.com. Jewelry forever. Conveniently located at CF Markville Shopping Center on 5000 Highway 7 East Markham. They do custom-made jewelry, repairs. They change watch batteries. They do laser engraving, and they do all of this on site. Everybody, we were at the store today, and yeah, they do laser engraving. It's really cool. Jerry at Jewelry Forever is an incredible artist. If you have a vision for something custom you'd like made, he will make it for you. He will repair damaged things for you. He does it all.
And clean your jewelry.
And clean your jewelry. That's right.
Yeah, he cleaned my wedding ring today.
He's a true professional. Head on over there, and we got a great deal with him. Worked out with him, don't we, Regine?
Yes, we do. If you go in and let them know that Scott and Regine sent you, you'll get 15% off your entire purchase.
That's right, 15% off, 15%. Mention the show, tell them Scott and Regine sent ya, and get yourself something special. Like I said, custom stuff, but they've also got a beautiful selection of things that are already in stock. And Jerry's very knowledgeable; he can tell you all about the stuff you need. And also follow them on TikTok, follow them on Instagram, because they do a lot of really neat jewelry repair videos, behind the scenes things. You learn things about jewelry and how it's made.
Yeah, and if you go onto his TikTok, again, let him know Scott and Regine sent you.
That's right. And find out more at jewelryforever.ca. Beautified by Romina.
Internationally trained hair and makeup artist. She is the official hair and makeup artist of the Sit Down. As you can see here, she did our hair and makeup for our photo shoot. But not only does she do it for our photo shoots, but also when we go on stage, she will make sure we look our best, feel our best. And she also does weddings and engagement shoots and pageants and corporate headshots. She does it all.
She does everything that every occasion where you would need to make yourself feel beautiful.
Beautified.
Be beautified.
There you go. Check her out on Instagram and Facebook at Beautified by Romina.
That's right. And if you would like to advertise on the show, it's very easy, right, Regine?
It's simple. All you guys have to do is email us at radioshowad, that's radioshowad@gmail.com.
That's right. We do this show live every week, people, and we do the ads live week to week. What's that mean? It means you can personalize them week to week. Do you have an event, a sale, something happening at a particular time, particular place? You let us know. We let your potential client base know in real time. It's a great way to build a brand new relationship with a brand new audience. Get in touch. Radio Show Ad, Radio Show AD at gmail.com. And we are back.
We're back.
And
ready to be inspired.
ready to be inspired. That's right. Are you ready to go?
I think so.
There
All right.
you go.
Then everybody, please give a warm sit down round of applause. Welcome to the stage once again.
Woo!
From Black Creek Rain, Darren, take it away.
There is violence, there is compliance, there are children crying, dying in the streets. Blood is sustenance for your eminence. You pledge allegiance to the numbers on the screen. Oh, tear it all down, watch as it burns, laugh when it crumbles. When will you learn? When will you learn? Sitting on a throne of ashes, everything is bleak from winter to fall. Your crown is of the king, nothing at all, at all. This is what you asked for, baby, and everything is dead. It's all your fault. Crown is of the king, nothing at all, at all, at all. Oh, 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 at all, yeah. Through your profiting, there's no prospering, no. You took everything, you left us all with none. You inherited and you somehow merited all the light you've touched. You think that it is yours. Oh, tear it all down, watch as it burns, laugh when it crumbles. When will you learn? When will you learn? Sitting on a throne of ashes, everything is bleak from winter to fall. Your crown is of the king of nothing at all, at all. And this is what you asked for, baby, and everything is dead. It's all your fault. Crown is of the king of nothing at all, at all. Yeah. Oh, 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 oh,
And that was a very inspiring performance from Darren of Black Creek Rain.
I'm inspired.
Whoa.
I'm inspired, Regine.
Me too. Actually, you know what's interesting that you say that? How people are like, either you find inspiration or you don't.
Yep.
I used to take singing lessons,
Uh-huh.
and then I was uninspired to sing, and now I don't sing.
What made you, do you want to tell, was there a story there, or you just didn't find inspiration?
It was just... no, let's not. Let's not go there.
But again, I guess you just realized that that's basically what happened to you.
Yeah.
There you go. Tell us a little bit about the song we just heard.
So that one was off
are you
the.
gonna- Oh, you're fine. Sorry.
Yeah. That one was off the upcoming EP. Should hopefully be out in the fall.
Sweet.
That song was called "King of Nothing," and it is about the pursuit of vanity, really, and the hoarding of wealth and resources by those in the upper echelons of society. And it's what we're trying to say is like, what are you really ruling? What are you really the king of when you do stuff like that? We're all gonna end up 6 feet under in the same box, in the same cemetery. What are you really ruling? What are you the king of when you do stuff like that? Again, trying to propel a message out there with reggae music.
It's cool.
Is that where rain comes from?
Sorry?
Is that where rain comes from?
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes.
That is correct.
You know what? I do love that though, where it's like you bring the audience in through, you know, the vibe and the music, and like then they're singing along because they like this song and they learn the words, and then
You're
one
like,
day
"Oh."
when there's that moment where they actually listen to the words and they go, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, this is, for me, this is one of my crowning achievements as a songwriter, and I'm real proud of this one. Lex wrote a song, "Lonely Survivor," which turned into this song, and so, because like how songwriter, and you, anybody here who's a songwriter is going to know. You have a song, and just because you start with that one idea, or the song starts this way, doesn't by any stretch of the imagination mean it ends up that way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he had one version of the idea, that same chord progression, and it was good, but he had some kind of clunky parts that just didn't quite fit, of which we're still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And so I took that melody, and that harmony rather, and I wrote this, and I'm super proud of it. Like, lyrically, I would struggle when I was younger. I'd be sad and be like, I am sad and it makes me mad, and it's good, right? And it's just like, man, stop, right? So, but now I'm able, after you do something over and over again, I'm able to really, I'm saying lyrics here, but there's a message here too, and it's we've done this one live. We did it for Canadian Music Week, and every time we do the song, we get a good response out of it. It's a big, powerful chorus. It's a big, singy chorus. It shows off my range. It talks about an issue that's important. It's got, for us, it's got everything that we need to, like, all right, this is a song now.
Yeah. So let's talk about your process in writing music.
So I was always, since I went to university for music, I've got the theoretical part of it on lock and down. I can harmonize things. I can this, I can that. I can do all sorts of things that a lot of the other guys in the band simply just can't. And so because of that, sometimes I actually get a little too fixated on that, right? Like we'll be in rehearsal and I'll be like, I don't think it should be an add 9 flat 2. I actually think that the sharp 2 is going to really accentuate the harmony that we're trying to go for here. And everyone's like, man, shut up. That's not what are you doing?
Like,
right?
what are you talking
so
about?
really, like, and really and truly, that misses the point, right? So while I started out writing songs about women, because women are my muse and always have been and always will be. And as a songwriter, let's be honest here, especially as a guy, like come on, right?
Yeah.
I started writing about people who would upset me, or people who would offend me, or people who ended
Emo
relationships
phase.
or friendships,
Yep.
or whatever the case is. And that's my home spot. That's where I'm comfortable as a writer, right? I can't write about happiness. A lot of writers, frankly, because it ends up being cheesy.
Yeah, I mean, I find the same thing. You always, like it's with film writing, and like you always, there's conflict. If there's no conflict, there isn't anything. And
Where's the interest, right?
Yeah, there are happy songs, but I think it's
Every day is not a sad song.
it's not about. Well, sorry, it is a happy song, but the verses are very sad. It talks about how bad everything else is, but there's one nice thing.
I played that song at my wedding.
But no, it's a love song.
on.
It is a love
Oh
song,
my
but the
God.
verses are very much about like how things aren't going how you want. But then there's this one wonderful thing.
Yeah, I played his music at my wedding.
No, that's
I didn't even tell him that I was copyright.
We went in. We
I
walked.
didn't tell him.
We walked into the. It was playing
Ceremony.
before the ceremony, and it was just like playing. The DJ's playing, and I was like, oh, that's nice.
I literally gave my DJ like songs to play. So like you had a song there, Melvin. Like I would get songs from, because I have a lot of musical friends.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would pull their music and put it in
that
a
is
playlist.
super nice.
Yeah.
That is-
And no
I
one
actually
knew
might
until
do
they
that.
got there.
I'm getting married in November. I might just do that as well.
You should play hit. It's not a happy song apparently, but
No, I think it is happy, but it's not just happy. You know what I mean?
and congrats by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
Yeah. But no, conflict is it's more interesting to write, and I also weirdly it feels more genuine. I think.
That's the word right there. If I'm trying to say, I'm a reggae band, yeah man, me got to write something happy. Now I just sound like I'm a bad Sandals Resort tour guide. right? So it is. Let's.
Get ready for that. Sorry, continue.
So I did say I was also
I know
ready for
you warned me for that one. Yeah.
So it's humorous and it's funny and it's good, but like if I'm gonna write a song like that, it's just gonna fall so flat, right? Regardless of being from the Caribbean or not, that just doesn't give me a free pass to just kind of bastardize what we're about. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So when I write about conflict, sadness, the depths of heartbreak, that's genuine to me because that's what I'm really feeling at the time. Or I can just revisit that well and just rediscover that, right?
Yep.
If I'm writing about happiness, as you say, it doesn't interest me.
No.
Isn't that interesting though that you say that? Like you can easily go back into like that dark time of your life, but then it's harder to go to your happy days.
I think you know what also.
Why?
Well,
Are you okay?
Well, no, but I think it's quite a common thing for artists because, like, in fact, that's why they even say like, why bands like they have a few really good albums, and then once they become really, really famous, it's like suddenly their albums aren't as good, and you wonder because it's like
you pull a Taylor Swift and you write about the heartbreak.
Yeah, that's when you find a way.
Yeah,
because otherwise it's like when these bands first start out, they're poor and they're trying to find gigs and they're struggling, and then finally they achieve their dreams and get everything they want. And they don't have any worries anymore, and then suddenly the inspiration tends to fall off. So
I agree with that. It's much more interesting. And people themselves are much more interested in that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Even John Mayer is one of my all-time favorites, right?
So good, yeah.
And you can go to a John Mayer show, and it's him and his band in T-shirt and jeans, no fireworks, no pyrotechnics, no backup dancers, nothing. And it's just him, his heart on his sleeve for 2 hours, and at no point are you bored, uninterested, disappointed, nothing like that. You're listening to this guy tell you about the many, many issues he's had in his life. And you're interested in that. You want to hear that. It's an authentic thing. It's a genuine thing.
Yep.
If you were to come out with a song like, I just bought a new $15,000 guitar, what you gonna do about that, y'all haters?
It's
Nobody
a whole other genre.
Everybody would be like, John, stop, first of all.
Yeah.
Like, right? It wouldn't be real.
True.
It wouldn't be authentic. It's a shield, right? And that's, as a songwriter, you try to get past that shield, and it can be hard for us too as artists, right? Because even my bass player, the other co-founder of the band, Lex, he does such a good job of just calling out the crap. If I must have written several choruses before that one, and he's like, no, that's not like what you feel. That's not real. He also does a lot of acting work as well, so he's able to really explore dimensions that I'm not, right? And he can call out nonsense like that, but that's what you need. At this stage of the game, if we're really trying to make this a thing, we can't present half-baked ideas. We can't present, this is kind of what I feel. Like I'm kind of sad. No. Go past that. Go past the surface and say what's really... Are you mad because she broke up with you? Or are you mad because the guy is like 4 inches taller than you? And you've always had a little bit of a height complex? Because that's much more interesting. That's going to resonate with people differently than, she broke up with you, it happens.
Yeah.
Now, I'm like 5'9". I'm not that tall. Right? And so, like, for me...
You're tall.
If you're like 5'5", yeah, I'm tall. But like, on the whole, if I go to a club in Toronto, I'm like...
Oh, then you got the girls in their heels and stuff.
Right? It doesn't help. And
I'm your height in heels, Sorry.
Exactly my point, right? So I'm lucky my fiance is 5'3", so like when she throws on like 3-4 inch heels, like I'm still a little bit taller than her, and I'm like, good. But you get these girls that are like 5'1", and they're like, I want my man to be 6'2", and I'm like...
No, you don't.
Right, right.
That's your height.
I am.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. But no, I always think. Yeah.
I was like, how tall is your girlfriend?
My girlfriend's she's 5'2".
Yeah.
You're not helping me here, Scott. You're not helping me.
But I think generally, the thing, I will say this. The internet has kind of ruined, I think, a lot of things because girls generally, they just want a guy that's taller than them. But the internet has suddenly made this thing of like they've drawn this line at 6 feet, and it's such a dumb.
They're like the short kings.
Yeah, but the thing is that's not even short. It's
true though. I agree, because if you are a 5'3", 5'4" girl and you're standing up against a guy who's 5'10", you still gotta like look up and
yes,
he's towering over
I know.
you.
Like it's almost. I feel like it's become this meme where like people are like, or when they're making their dating profiles or whatever. Oh yeah, I don't want any of these short. But it's such a stupid thing, right? That if you meet people in real life, that is, you wouldn't even know how.
No, you wouldn't.
Like
I agree with that.
It's really, it's stupid.
It's
like,
very silly.
For me, because I'm somewhat averagely taller than
You're
most
like-
Filipinos.
Yeah, you're
Above
pretty
average
tall.
height,
Yeah.
My thing was like, and I do pageants, so I am in 4, 5, 6 inch heels. I'm like, you got to be taller than me in my heels.
Yes.
Is that so hard to ask?
And I don't think that, again, I don't think that's unreasonable. People can want
But when
whatever
you're
they want.
5'2",
But-
it's different.
Yeah, but the point is, it's like,
But I feel
yeah.
I'm so sorry for saying that.
yeah.
So please don't cancel me.
On one hand, it's short kings, and on the other hand, is you got to be taller than me. Eh?
I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Let's edit this. I'm kidding.
No, where I just have the problem with it is that they've kind of drawn this arbitrary line at 6, and I think it's because it became,
My
somebody.
husband's 6'1".
Awesome. But what I'm saying is somebody popularized this thing of like, oh yeah, anybody under this number. And I'm like, first of all, most girls, they wouldn't even know. They wouldn't even know if a guy is that tall or not. Because if the girl's 5'2", 5'1", which most girls are in there, 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", whatever. As long as they're looking up, the guy could be 6'5", the guy could be
5'9".
8, 5'7", right? So I just, I think you should just go meet people.
Love who
meet
you
them.
love for who they are, not
But-
how tall they are.
But like meet them in real life. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Because I've dated a couple of, like, one woman I dated for a little while. She was literally my height. Like, I'm 5'9", she was like 5'8.5" or so. And she didn't care, right?
Yeah.
I dated somebody who was 5'6", a little bit taller.
Do you
I'm a little
care
bit
if the
taller.
girl is your height?
No. I would, frankly, of all the, like, women I've dated, I never dated a girl who was a little taller than me. And I always
Would you
wanted
date
to.
someone taller?
Yeah.
Would you date a woman taller? You like...
See, it's different for you. Like, at that point, they're playing basketball. If they're taller, if they're taller than Scott, they're playing basketball.
It's true. In fact, here's the thing.
But answer the question.
Would I date someone taller? I mean, I don't have a criteria. So like, but here's
I
the
don't trust you.
but here's the truth. Here's the truth, the real truth. And it's kind of this is speaking as a tall person. Okay, I'm 6 foot. I'm just right around just under 6'2". Okay.
Just say you're 6'2". Round up.
Fine. Well, yeah, fine. Round up. But the point is, the truth is, when I walk into pretty much any place, I'm usually either the tallest in the room or like I'll see like one or two heads that are up
Yep.
at my height, right? So I am very used to looking down pretty much on everybody around me. Okay, that's just,
Yeah.
we'll call that whatever it is. That's what my reality. But when I encounter someone who is taller than me,
My brothers are taller than you.
yeah, I guess so. But you generally, when I do, sometimes I find it almost very, I don't know if uncomfortable is the right word, but the first thing I think, I'm like, too tall. You know what I mean? It's just because I'm not. It's
You're not
just
used to it.
Yes, if 99% of the time you're used to things being a certain way, and then you encounter somebody for the first time, you're just like this doesn't. That's not right. This doesn't feel
my
right.
brothers are 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Some guys have all the luck. Jesus Christ. I'm not even asking for 6'8" here. That's not at all what I'm asking for. Just give me even 5'11", I would have been okay with. Nope. Like I could have been right at the cusp. I would have been like, you know what, almost. Another.
Blame your
I
parents.
think- I think you're doing just fine. You're doing
Thanks,
just
Scott.
You're
He said-
perfect just the way you are.
He said standing 6'2", and she said married to a 6'1" guy.
And my brothers
Yeah.
are 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah. All I'll say, people, is meet the person in real life. I think having these, it's
How
so
did we
easy.
even get to this conversation?
I don't remember, but
John
I.
Mayer.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
Right.
But I'm kind of glad we got here anyway because it's pretty interesting. But like, I guess what I don't like is this idea that, you know what it is? It's this invention of the dating profile, because you suddenly are asked to like write down or type in all of these things that you say you want.
Your
Must be
wish
this,
list.
must be this, must be this. And the truth is, when you meet somebody in real life, when you meet that person, like it'll just happen, and that checklist
True.
is not worth the
That's
pixels
true.
it's
No,
typed on.
I agree with that. I always thought I had to type. I always thought, for whatever reason, and I suppose I did summer camp and worked in those areas for a while, I always thought I was going to end up with a Latina girl. Like, always. Frank, that's what I was so down for it. Especially if you've ever seen Latinas, you get it.
Yep.
So, right? So I was so down. I was so ready. I went on one date with one, I think, girl from Ecuador or the other. It was the worst thing in history.
Ooh.
And I was just like, maybe this like whole romanticized idea I have is not quite right. And I had, and so like I'm from the Caribbean, and my fiance is Indian. That's a type of woman I never actually thought I was going to end up long term with, because I was always dating Caribbean girls,
Yeah.
there's some white girls in there, la 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 la, right? She's the first like Indian girl that I've ever dated, and of course is the one I'm marrying. So funny how that works.
Actually, you know what's funny that you say that? I binged watched Indian Matchmaker.
You and everybody else.
And it was like, did you watch it?
No.
Hey,
You
there we
should.
go.
You should. But
Maybe.
it was really interesting when the guys or the girls would be like, I don't want to date so and so from this area, or I don't want to date from this area, and then they end up with that person.
It's such a and like I suppose we'll talk about that because that's the show, Indian
Yeah.
matchmaking. A lot of it, but like especially being from the Caribbean, like it's the same thing because I look so Indian. Like my great grandparents came over from India to the Caribbean,
Yeah.
and a lot of that whole Indian diaspora went to Guyana, went to Trinidad,
Yeah.
went to Jamaica, all sorts of things. So you see, because like had I walked in, 90% of people would have assumed, oh, so what part of India are you from, right? And then it's like, well, the Caribbean part, haha, and nobody ever laughs, and it's fine. But so we always have this kind of otherism about us where like if I'm from Mumbai, I don't want to date somebody from Goa, or if I'm
Yeah.
from Goa, I don't want to date somebody from Pune, or whatever, or worse yet, like I'm this caste, I don't want to date this caste
Yeah.
person, or I'm a doctor, I only want to date a lawyer or engineer, if you're a teacher, go away. And we always divide ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always, whether it's Indian culture, whatever culture,
I mean, I thought I was going to marry Filipino, and I didn't, so.
There you go.
right?
Yeah.
So it's we as people, as you say, meet the person.
Yeah.
Get to
Yeah.
know this person. You might think you have a type.
But you
I
don't.
promise you, if you were to talk to somebody from these other types you don't think you have, I promise you'll change your tune.
Yeah.
Or you think they're your type, and then you realize, actually, no, you're just toxic.
Yeah. Because the thing is, like, even if you have a type, right? Like, people are individuals, right? So,
Yeah.
like, even if you say, it's just so dumb to like swear off an entire group or an entire height or any of those things just because you're like, no, that's not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, no, like, people, every person is different. The phone's ringing again. What's
Y'all
up?
are busy today.
People are people individually, right? And it's like, I don't know. I've never, I
Someone's
understand
calling in,
it.
They want to give their opinion.
We're not answering you.
It really is true. It really, because for 4 years I dated only this type of woman. They were half Caribbean, half white. They had long black hair. They were like between 5'4" and 5'6". Like for 4 straight years, that's all that was happening. And I'm like, this must be my type. The whole Latina thing, forget about
Yeah.
it. No. What did I end up with? I ended up with a 5'3", born and raised in India girl.
There you go.
Literally
You
the
love who
opposite,
you love.
right?
Love who you love, people. And so what I think is, I guess, if we're going to put a bow on this, because we're kind of running out of time,
Yeah.
but to put a bow on this, I'll just say, I think it's a dumb idea if you kind of, again, I guess online dating makes it kind of a unique situation, but like,
Did you find your girlfriend online? Sorry.
I did.
oh, there you go.
She was on Tinder for 24 hours.
Wow.
Matched with me, and that was it. That's got to be
That
like a
was it.
Tinder
Wow.
success.
Incredible. See?
That's got to be a Tinder
It
success.
was
story.
no Tinder swindler, but it was
You
a
actually get a
success.
Tinder sponsorship because of that.
Oh, there you go.
Or you should get a Tinder sponsorship.
You know what? Yeah, that's actually much more sensible.
I'm like, but this doesn't work for us. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, because just imagine like if you had just like limited your like range of like, no,
Yeah.
this is the type I have, and you like just blocked off an entire portion of the population, you think,
You'll never meet
Never would have
that
met.
person
I
that you're
probably
meant
would
to
still
be
be a
with.
degenerate, right? So,
You
Yeah.
would still be dating those girls that you were dating in the past.
yeah,
love you, Caribbean girls.
there you go. There it is. So
And on that note,
I like that. Okay,
love
so
who you love.
love who you love. We have one more segment.
Yeah.
And we're going to hear another song to end the show. But before we get there, we have one more segment. It's a very important segment on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Every guest has to do this.
Sweet.
Every.
Have you ever encountered this before?
A barrel of monkeys.
Yay! Yes, you have. Okay, good. That
No,
might
he
give you-
just made have read the.
Oh,
I definitely have encountered that before. Thank you very much.
okay,
You
good.
never know. You never know.
So we have a segment on this show. In fact, we'll just start and then I'll explain it. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing this week's edition of the Barrel of Monkeys World Championship.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's very fancy. It's very fancy. Okay, so I will explain how it works. I mean, I know you said play the game, but how we do it for the segment. It starts on the table.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put 1 minute on the clock. I'll say 3, 2, 1, go. You grab the barrel. Pour out monkeys. Okay. pick up monkey. This part you probably know. You use one monkey to pick up another monkey.
And so on and so forth.
So when you're connecting as many monkeys as you can. If you end up with 2 monkeys on the same arm like that, we count that just as one monkey.
Right.
We're counting chains of monkeys. Okay. The monkey in your hand doesn't count towards your total. So we're looking at 1, 2. So this would be 3 monkeys.
He's like, let's do it.
At 1 minute, just freeze so that we
Like,
can.
look at him. He's so
He's
into
ready.
it.
I like this.
Ready to go.
Your competitive side is coming out. I like
It
it.
is.
So, any questions?
No, it's just make a barrel of monkeys.
Make a barrel of monkeys. Okay, I'm going to hand you
Make a
that.
Linka monkey. He's not a bear.
All right, let me get the.
Put it down. Put it down. No, no,
it's-
no.
Oh no, it just pops off,
it pops off.
and it starts on the table. Yeah. Okay.
No, you take it off. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It doesn't just boop. Alrighty, ready?
Okay, hang on. I'm still
Want
getting
to
the
shake it first?
timer.
No.
You don't
can
have
if
to.
you
I
want.
mean, you can if you want. It doesn't. It's not.
But
it's not-
hands off until
Yeah.
1 minute.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. 3, 2,
He's so into it.
1. Go.
That was a nice pour.
All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. You lost one. All right. Don't panic. You've got this. Just keep
Why?
it together. Work slow. Don't be. You got this.
Good pour.
Don't be don't be too frantic. You got this. Just stay calm.
Watch the
Keep
top.
calm and carry on.
This is pathetic.
You got it. There you go. There you go. You'll get it. You'll get it. There you go. All right.
It's
30 seconds remaining.
Oh, it's all flat. Why? Who invented this game needs to be fired from game making ever.
Sorry, you got this thing. The monkeys are not cooperating.
No, they're all flat on the table. I can't.
No, you got it. You got it.
Oh,
you got
you
it.
had one.
You would have had one. It's you gotta be gentle.
That's it. There you go. 5 seconds.
Oh!
Okay. Okay.
I would leave it at that. Leave it. I would. Don't. You're.
Oh, he grabbed another one.
Okay.
Time.
1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4.
4 monkeys on the board. How are you?
How do you
how are you
feel
feeling
you
about your
did?
performance there?
Poor.
It was well.
It was interesting.
We can look at the standings and see where you're sitting.
I'm definitely sitting dead last.
Actually, not.
You almost were.
You were there. There was a moment there where I was a little concerned. But no,
Yeah.
4th place. There's quite a few. 4 monkeys. There's quite a few people. You're sitting there with Ariel Fina,
Average.
Emerald B.
Ha, I know Emerald B. LOL.
Well, there you go. Janet Rose Fitness, Margaret Williams, Jessica Lazaro, and Dana Bedo have all got 4 monkeys.
And now you two.
James Nickel, of course he had all 10.
He's got 10.
Right?
He's a
Yeah.
monkey himself, so it makes sense.
He was amazing. He really shut it down. I was impressed that day.
I
So
wasn't
let's see.
even there to see
Let me see.
it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're sitting in 6. You're tied for 6th place with other people.
7.
7th place.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6. Sorry.
6th place. Okay. You
You
know
were
what?
almost last, but thank God you got one.
You know what?
Could have been worse.
Some days I was worried for you because basically right down to the last maybe 20 seconds you had one
I had
monkey.
one. Yeah, it was not good.
And-
everything just fell totally flat, and it was hard.
It's
to
the
Yes.
way
angle,
that
right?
you
Yeah.
spread it out.
Yeah, that didn't help.
No, your pour was good. It was just the fact that you went.
I was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
You went to town.
My hands were like, what do I do?
Yeah, because right now I think the only person with one is Josh, right? Josh Crudis. Is he by
Josh
himself?
has 2.
Oh, does anybody have one?
Someone had one, and we.
Oh, but they
didn't
got
add
better.
it.
They got better. Okay. Okay. So Josh is bottom with 2. So if you had one, you
would've
would have
been by
taken
your
last.
sale.
That would have been the first ever. But then you were able to pick up like
Yeah.
3 quite quick.
Yeah.
But
So-
there's an opportunity for you to redeem yourself. We are talking about bringing people back on.
Oh,
if
yes.
they are,
That'd be cool.
if they are available.
Yeah, we kind of want to. We're thinking about dates.
Yeah.
We'll be in touch, but basically, we want to do one special episode where it's only
Just
barrel of monkeys. Everybody who can come back can. It'll be just a big competition.
That'd be hilarious. I'd love
Yeah,
it.
I think it'd
Even
be
the
fun.
next time I came back, I could bring a couple of the other guys, and it could
We also,
really be.
I was
I like
going to
it.
say, I would love to hear your music with your band as well. I mean, you
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about
That'd be a
them
lot of
so
fun.
much. I think in the fall when it's not Carabana
Yeah, you said
season.
you got a new EP coming out whenever when that comes out. If you want to
Correct.
come on and perform live,
That
come
would be
back.
great.
There
that
you
would be
go.
great. The next big thing, actually, if I may for a moment.
Of course.
Yeah.
Next big thing that we've
Wait.
got.
And the
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
that ends this week's edition of the Barrel of Monkeys
Sorry,
World
I didn't mean to
Championship.
cut you off.
Good one, Regine. Yeah, I got to hear those monkeys.
Now.
All right, you were saying.
So one of the big things that we're trying to do as a band is really establish that Caribbean culture over here and really have that sort of experience over here. And so one thing that we're doing Saturday, August 19th is called Good Vibes, Good Energy, and it's over out in Jungle at Mississauga. It's a brand new Caribbean venue. It can hold a few hundred people in it. We've booked out the place.
Nice.
We've got DJs. We've got Black Creek Rain. We've got appetizers and drinks and a whole bunch of other things like that. We've got tickets on sale now. It's on our profile on Instagram. That's at Black Creek Rain, REIGN, as I've said so many times before.
Yeah.
It's the second edition of it that we're doing. The first one we did last year at the Painted Lady was such a success. We decided we had to do a second one at a much bigger venue. So if you are in the area, you like reggae music, you like soca music, you like to jump up and get on bad, as we say, come on out. We promise you're going to have a good time.
Amazing.
That
So that
sounds
was
awesome.
August.
19th.
Saturday, August 19th.
Love that.
Cool. And name the venue one more time.
It's Jungle.
Jungle.
In the
I like it.
jungle.
Yeah,
like
they kept it short, sweet, to the point. I think like the full name is like Jungle Caribbean Kitchen Resto Bar, whatever, but just Jungle.
I like
So
it.
make sure y'all check them out on
Saturday, August
Instagram. Yep, check
Yeah.
them out on Instagram. Get your tickets. How much are tickets?
Our early bird tickets are all sold out already.
Oh.
And they were $15 a pop. We've got general admission going on now. It's $20, and that's for all 5 hours of admission. And we might, if the place is breaking down, we might extend that all the way for a 6th hour. So we start at 4 p.m. and everything goes until 9 p.m. But if things are vibing and we're popping, we might go to 10.
Well, there
Sweet.
you go. Show up, get your party shoes on, and let's keep them going till midnight.
It's awesome. And
Yeah, let's do it.
yeah. So one more time, why don't you tell us, let us know social media
Where can
and all
people
that
find
stuff where
you?
people can find you guys.
So you can find us literally everywhere. More helpful and specifically will be Spotify or Instagram, and that's Black Creek Rain, as I've spelled it many times before, REIGN. We are Toronto-based. We're reggae, we're soca. Come on out, join the movement.
Love that.
Sweet. Yeah, that was great. And August 19th sounds awesome.
Dude, it's going to be a party.
It's awesome. Regine, where can people find you?
You all can find me on my YouTube channel for The Pageant Sit Down. We will have an episode in 2 weeks, so make sure you follow or subscribe if you haven't already. Last week, or this week actually, we interviewed Elizabeth Marnock as she
Nice.
prepares for a captivating pageant. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at It's Regine Alaina. If you are competing this summer in a pageant and are looking for a pageant coach, you can hit me up at Pageant Coaching by... Is it Pageant Coaching? Pageant Coaching, period, Regina Alaina. Something like that. Link is in the description.
Sweet.
Scott, where can people find you?
You can find me right here where you're watching this very video. YouTube.com/Scott Dion Brown. That's the best place. You get the sit down, you get the music, you get the comedy sketches, the unboxing videos, the vlogs, everything. YouTube.com/Scott Dion Brown. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Scott Dion Brown. But those are satellites for the YouTube channel. YouTube is the best place. Also follow the show, The Sit Down with SDB on TikTok, The Sit Down with SDB on Instagram and Threads, and Sit Down Scott on Twitter. Or you can also listen to the show, or the Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown on Facebook, and you can also watch the show on Spotify and a couple other podcast platforms. But YouTube is the best place because that's where we're live, and that's where you get all that good stuff.
You can actually also go to the Performance Center now if you like.
Victory.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before you run over there, what song are you going to play for us? Tell us
So
quickly.
this is a brand new one. We've barely done this one live. This one is called Harvey. There's two versions of it. A hard rock version that will be part of my rock band in 2024, and the power ska, power soca version.
Love that.
Today we're going to get the acoustic version, so I'm not necessarily sure why I introduced it like that. But this one's called Harvey. It's about abuse. It's about abuse of power, and once again, I got something to say, and I'm going to say it.
Sweet. All right,
Awesome.
head on over to the performance area, and we'll say bye-bye to all of you, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see you all. We'll be live next week. We're going to have people from Canada Galaxy.
Yes, we will.
sure.
We will. Part
Great.
2 of Canada Galaxy. And make sure, again, to follow Darren as well as Black Creek Rain because they are using their voices to inspire
There you go.
everyone. And if you're inspired by them, let us know in the captions below. Is your guitar ready?
Good thing you asked.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. We'll see you all next time.
Stay
here's
safe
some,
and happy long weekend. Bye.
As you lay out on the street, been away for so long, singing a song on your mind, still got your soul for the time. Today is the day, and he's on his way, but you know that you want it. Well, he knows that you need it. It's all that you crave, but you've got to be brave, and he knows that you want it. Well, he knows that you need it. It won't end with you. It's sad, but it's true, yeah. When it's all that you've ever dreamed, when it's all that you want to believe, you do anything on you to make it come true. It's getting so near, he made it so clear that you need his help to make it round here. Says don't better ask how high, baby, don't ask why. This is just showbiz. In the hotel lobby, it's too late for sorry if you back out now. Join your new hobby, you say yes every request that he makes. If you don't, somebody else will. And he knows that you want it. Well, he knows that you need it. It's all that you crave, but you've got to be brave.